asked for evidence of that agreement. We were sent an email that shows that the representative of the Suites of Bettendorf, or Vintage, has requested 15 evergreens and a berm. Seems to me that they've met their ability to resolve that issue. But if we're not sure, if we don't like that, we can always press the pause button, but I feel confident that we've got what we want here.
John? Councilmember Jagger.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just so that I understand the process this evening, if we leave this on consent, then it will be approved with the landscape plan that has been submitted by the developer. It's my understanding staff has the authority to allow minor changes to a site plan. I assume that the landscaping plan is a component part of the site plan, and that therefore staff, if the two property owners have the ability to work it out, can work it out without it having to come back to the council or without having the council make any further modifications other than approving the item tonight. Would that be a fair summary?
Mr. Jagger, from my perspective, that is correct. This is a site plan that we believe meets city code, that is compliant with city code. Minor revisions to a site plan, which are 10% under our code, are allowed to be done at the staff level. So we think that if there are still discussions taking place between the neighbors and the applicant, that could be done at the staff level. It seems like everybody's working together here. I think the critical thing is that we have a site plan that does appear to be compliant and congruent with our code.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
So it's my understanding we've closed the public hearing, that there was no one else interested in addressing on an item that's not on the agenda. So let's go ahead and move on to our first item of business, which is a public hearing regarding the Devil's Glen Road widening project from Forest Grove to Crow Lake Drive. Mr. Schmidt, would you please give us an update on this resolution?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an important infrastructure project for the north and the northeast part of town that's continually growing. Devil's Glen currently is a two-lane road now. We are going to be breaking it up into phases due to the size of the project. So this first phase is reconstructing Forest Grove Drive all the way down to Crow Lake Drive, increasing it to 4 lanes. If you recall, when we did a presentation a few council cycles ago, we are going to be adding the additional turn lane that is going into the development at the southwest corner of Devil's Glen and Forest Grove. And then we will be reimbursed from the developer for putting in that turn lane. The reason why we did that is that we just didn't want to have that road closed for a period of time for the construction of Forest Grove, for the reconstruction of Devil's Glen Road, and then have that developer come back in and then have to cut in a turn lane and then restrict that traffic. So that was the agreements in place, and we're asking you for your approval this evening to move this project forward.
Thank you, Brian. Does council have any questions for staff? Mr. Adamson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Brian, did you say the southwest corner?
Yes, that's where the development is.
Right. Aren't we going to do a turn lane that's the south?
We are. There's 2 turn lanes. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
South, going east.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Others? All right, with that, Michelle, do we publish notice of the public hearing?
Yes, we did, Your Honor, and I do have affidavit of publication.
Did we get any written correspondence with regard to the same?
No, we did not.
All right, let's go ahead and open this public hearing with regard to the Devil's Glen Road widening project. Anyone here that wishes to be heard on this item?
Hello, my name is Jared Stein. I live at 3400 Crow Lake Drive in Bettendorf, Iowa, 52722. Okay. Well, thank you very much, City Council, for having us here. I just want to share a couple things. I live in the neighborhood, Crow Lake Drive, so that would be south of Forest Grove. And the concerns that I have that I'd like to bring to attention are a few. So I'm totally supportive of widening the road. I think that makes a lot of sense. It looks like it's kind of been planned for. My specific concerns are regarding the narrow setbacks between what I suspect are the existing roads and the sidewalk. So essentially, if you expand, obviously the road is going to get closer to the sidewalk. It does sound like, at least from my reading of the notes, that the sidewalk along the new stretch is probably going to be wider maybe than the rest, and this is the one along the side where the new development is going to be. I do ask the council make sure that the sidewalks are consistent. Obviously, need to be able to make use of them in a manageable fashion. And my big concern is that as the road is going to get wider, obviously the road is going to be closer to the sidewalks. My son, I brought him here today, and we walk and bike to school every single day down that road, and not down the road, down the sidewalk. Obviously, very narrow sidewalk on our side, and we're constantly navigating. If there are cars in addition, that is a big concern to me. I should note that very often people are not driving 35 miles per hour down that road. I suspect it's been mentioned before. I've seen the little speed limit signs out there before. With obviously having four lanes with very little divider between the two, it's going to be a difficult situation. I have a couple more topics, and it should be quick. So when you're turning left out of the subdivisions, that's both Crow Lake and the other one, I forget which one it's called, but the left turn already is challenging. I suspect adding more lanes to that would make it even more challenging to make that turn safely. And that's both into and out of the subdivision. So I've actually been down the street. One of my neighbors was turning into our subdivision and was hit from behind. So having those extra lanes without having the safe place to turn is going to be a concern that I have just from turning in and out of the neighborhoods. I suspect, and it was mentioned, that this is going to continue further down south until we hit 53rd, where at 53rd it does turn into a 4-lane road. The concern that I have is as we approach the new crosswalk where the stop sign went up, having 2 lanes on either side is going to make that crosswalk a little bit more treacherous of a divide, because even today, sometimes the cars don't necessarily know whose turn it is. With the addition of a second lane, it's going to become a little bit more difficult. So it didn't sound like there was a plan for a light, but that would be a concern that I'd like the council to make sure they address. My proposal, if you're asking for it, I think the widening makes a lot of sense. What I think should happen is kind of what we have on Forest Grove right now, which is effectively still 2 lanes, one lane each way, a dedicated turn lane, and bike lanes on the side. I believe that would be a better use of the striping and a safer way to manage it for the neighbors. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. Mr. Schmidt?
Your Honor, I do want to comment, though, like I said, Jared, in my presentation, that this is broken up into 2 phases. And as far as the signalization at Devil's Glen and Hopewell, we do plan on adding that when we do widen that section south of Crow Lake all the way to 53rd in the coming years. So there will be a stop sign, or a signalized intersection there to facilitate the children coming back and forth, heading over to Hopewell School. As far as the narrow setbacks, that's a 110-foot right-of-way through there. So there will be significant space on that street.
I can't respond, can I?
Well, I can take your information after this meeting. I'd be glad to meet with you and me and my city engineer and go over your concerns as we look at the next phases of this project.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Stein, thank you for coming, and more especially bringing your son here. This is a critical thing in local government. We want to hear from you, and then the conversation, to your point, doesn't necessarily stop here. Like that engagement, good ideas, certainly are found everywhere, and you're living front and center there, so grateful for your input. Anyone else want to be heard on this item? If not, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and move to the resolution for Councilmember Adamson, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving the plan specifications and form of contract for the Devil's Glen Road widening project from Forest Grove Drive to Crow Lake Drive. I move approval of the resolution.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Councilmember Adamson.
I'm pretty sure I have the right information here, Brian. The width of this road, like, for example, Forest Grove, it's gonna be about the same width, right?
Yes.
So the only difference between, we got Tanglefoot, that's that width, it's got the bike lanes, it's got the turn in the middle, it's the same width. So at some point in the future, if we wanted to change that, we could do that by just restriping it.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, seeing none, Michelle, please call the roll.
Baden,
Aye.
Palczynski,
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Jaeger,
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
All right, that has been unanimously passed and approved. The next item is item 8, which is a resolution, and that is approving the final plat of Hope Heights Second Edition, which is a replat. For those of you at home, this item was removed from consent last night at our Committee of the Whole at the request of 3rd Ward Alderman Greg Jaeger due to a potential conflict he's made us aware of. This item is for Councilmember Baden to present.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving the final plat of Hope Heights Second Edition, replat of Hope Heights First Edition. I move approval of the resolution.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, Michelle, please call the roll.
Baden,
Aye.
Palczynski.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Jaeger.
Pursuant Council Rule Number 2, Your Honor, I abstain from voting.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
All right, thank you all. That final plat of Hope Heights Second Edition is passed 6-0 and is hereby approved. The last item on our agenda is tonight's consent agenda. All items on tonight's consent agenda need to be approved. I'd like to entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a couple of seconds.
He can be second. He can be first second.
Just put Greg down.
Any particular item on the consent anyone would like to discuss? All right, seeing none, Michelle, please call the roll.
Baden.
Aye.
Palczynski.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Jaeger.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Perfect. All items on the consent agenda have passed unanimously. Anything else for the good of the order this evening?
I do, if you can hear me.
We can, Lisa, go ahead.
I just gonna say, I don't know if Jillian's there, but is she there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pretend she is.
They've got a contest as far as the new design for the library cards, and they are awesome. And I know they're taking voting, I think, through the end of June. So everybody might want to take a peek. There's 4 different categories, and they're really neat. So just wanted to make that announcement.
Thank you, Lisa. Jerry?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to say thank you to the staff for a fine job putting on Be Downtown last Saturday.
Yeah, that was super cool. Anyone else?
Jeff gets all the credit for that, Your Honor.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And
And
Ryan
Mr.
Jansen
Schmidt was
really,
his,
yeah.
Mr. Schmidt was his.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick too, would you mind updating council on the naming of the truck? That was a really cool process. And I'm so proud of the city for that.
Yeah, this was a great idea that was brought forth, actually by Angie. And she did an amazing job.
Pull your mic down.
She did an amazing job setting everything up and having the votes online and whatnot. And it was just a great event to supplement Public Works Day and to have the naming, have the mayor come out and did a little speech. And we named 3 of our recycling trucks, and it was kind of neat. And hopefully we can think of something different next year as well. And if there's any ideas out there, please contact the city of Bettendorf and share those, please.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you,
to
Brian.
Angie.
If there's nothing, oh yeah.
One thing.
All right.
No,
Thank
I'd just
you,
like
Nick.
to take a moment to thank all the poll workers that are out facilitating our election this week, today, actually. Polls close in 30 minutes, so get out and vote. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion, a second. We are adjourned. Good work, people.
Have a good night, Lisa.